Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, you will date my daughter, or I'll get you fired. I'm having ankle surgery, and the only one who has no hope is my entitled dad who thinks everything will go wrong if he's not calling the shots. He is so cute when he destroys your stuff. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. You will date my daughter, or I'll get you fired. So for some context, I'm a 17-year-old male and I work at a Segway tour company. It's actually really fun. I get to ride Segways around the city and talk to people and get paid to do it. Plus the tipping isn't bad. So anyway, there was a tour booked a couple of days ago and I came in about 20 minutes early to answer emails and get everything ready. The group shows up, mother and daughter, and that's when things get interesting. I'm not going to insult your intelligence by telling you what EP and me stand for, but D equals daughter and FBI equals Federal Bureau of Investigation, just for some useful info. EP and D come in and I check them in. Me, alright, I have some waivers for you to sign. D, how old are you? D, 16. Me, okay, then you don't need to sign a waiver. I ask this because if kids are younger than 18, their parents sign the waivers for them, but EP only heard me say the first part, not when I said D didn't need to sign a waiver, so she thought I was just asking her daughter how old she was. This was probably what started it all. We go on the tour, and while I'm giving my spiel, EP keeps interrupting me to tell me stuff about D and find if we are compatible. Me, and so this non-profit organization opened in. EP, are you in college? Me, haha no, I'm a junior in high school. I'm usually pretty free with info about myself on tours because it helps keep people relaxed and initiates conversations during lulls in the tour. Plus it helps with tipping, winky face. EP, oh, D is also a junior, she is an artist. Stuff like this keeps happening throughout the tour, and every time, D gets redder and redder. My mom does this too, where she just tells random mall attendants about me, so I know what D is going through and I feel her pain. At the end of the tour, I tell the two of them that they have 15 minutes to go around the town and then they can meet me back at the Segway place. I get back and start getting things set up for their return. They roll in, pardon the pun, and I take their Segways to start charging them. EP, so what do you think of my daughter? Me, pardon me, what? EP, I saw you checking her out during the tour, are you gonna ask her out? D, Mom, stop. Me, ma'am, I just recently got out of a relationship and I'm really not looking for anything right now. EP, what? Me, huh? EP, is my daughter not good enough for you? Me, no, that's not it, I just said that I just got out of a relation. EP, you are going to date my daughter and that's final. Me, you can't tell me what to do. I'm not your kid, and if I don't want to date your daughter I don't have to. Besides, you haven't even asked her if she wants to date me. D, yeah, I don't want to date him. Me, see? EP, I'm going to call your boss and tell him about your terrible customer service. You're never going to work in city name again. Me, pulling out my phone, alright, you want to call him and explain this situation? How you're trying to force me to date your daughter and get me fired for saying no? Then I guess the absurdity of the situation finally sunk in, and her face transitioned from pure rage to slight confusion. EP, wait, maybe I don't want to. Me, no, let's call him. Start to go through my contacts and press my boss's name. Let's have this conversation. EP, I don't think that's a good idea. Phone starts ringing. EP, D, let's go. EP runs out the door, D turns to me and says I'm sorry, and then follows her mom. I hang up the phone before my boss answers and start cleaning the segways. I have some more stories from my work, y'all tell me if you want to hear more. Plot twist, OP and EP's daughter bond over the disgust of EP's behavior and start dating. LMAO, I don't think so, but who can say? I would want to hear more stories. Please. I love reading entitled parents' stories. Eck, I deserve more stories. D, yeah, I don't want to date him. Me, whoa. Hold up. I was just waiting for the part where the FBI got involved. I'm not mad they didn't show up, just disappointed. You should have went the call go through and warned your boss about the EP and the D who didn't sign the waiver in case they try anything funny, and by funny, I mean disgusting, illegal behavior. I'm having ankle surgery, and the only one who has no hope is my entitled dad who thinks everything will go wrong if he's not calling the shots. Hello everyone. Now I got a very recent story to tell about my monster of an entitled dad, about how he has no hope for my upcoming surgery and thinks that without him making the decisions it'll all go wrong. Context: in a couple of weeks I'll be having an ankle fusion. I've been having extreme pain in my ankle for quite a while, and in the last few years it has gotten worse and worse, and the orthopedic doctor has decided on an ankle fusion. The game plan is for me to stay a few nights in the hospital and about 2 weeks at a physical rehabilitation facility to help me learn how to use a walker. I have a bleeding disorder which requires some staying in the hospital, and they decided rehabilitation would be good since I live alone. As for the walker, they decided that was better for me than crutches, but I also have a wheelchair coming in too. Everyone's hopeful about the procedure. I am hopeful, my mom's hopeful, my family's hopeful, my friends are hopeful, my GF is hopeful. The only one who isn't is my dad. The only reason I told him was because I thought it'd be better to just tell him instead of getting even angrier for keeping the surgery a secret. See, he's very anti-doctor, and in the last few years has been going deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole of alternative medicine. During the pandemic, he wanted to sign me up for this pyramid scheme involving pine needle tea to give me COVID immunity and to cure me of my autism, and not too long ago he sent a video from an alternative medicine lady who was talking about how no processed sugar and no gluten will cure you of autism. He's been very persistent that I'll be a better person for the world overall if my autism is cured, and how mental illnesses are not real, but fabricated by doctors to kill you to take your money. Just a bunch of bullshit. And now he's spouting off about how ankle fusion will not work. He started rambling about how, with the limited mobility, I won't be able to exercise, and will therefore become fatter and less desirable to everyone. I do have a weight problem, as well as internalized fat phobia thanks to him. I told him how the doctors will plan to give me modified shoes to help me walk, but then he went off about how that'll break my ankle. I told him I'll have physical therapy to help me use a walker on one foot while I'm non-weight bearing, and then after the healing they'll do more physical therapy to help me walk normally again, and how I'll have a wheelchair to help me get around if I need to go out. He snapped about how I'm not listening to him, and that it's proof that I need family, more specifically him, in my life. He demanded that my mom either have me stay with her for the entire recovery process, or that I stay with him for the entire recovery process. I stood my ground and told him that's not necessary, that we already have a plan, and that I trust these doctors. That made him really mad, with him yelling if I trust strangers more than family. I firmly told him that is not what I meant, and that just because he's not confident in the game plan doesn't mean he has to be doom and gloom about it. Surprisingly, that made him realize that he wasn't gonna get to me, and huffed that if I want to try then fine, but that if something goes wrong I'm gonna regret not taking his help. This may not have been as bad as what he did in the past, but I felt like it was worth sharing. I do want to end on a positive note. I still have plans to cut him out, and I'm already mentally prepared for a life without him, as nowadays his words no longer hurt me like they used to. I'm no longer afraid of him. I'm simply annoyed at his existence, and annoyed how he'll always be an entitled, pathetic piece of shit of a father. I trust a doctor's medical opinion more than a family member who thinks YouTube is a valid source of information, and is easily duped by conmen. Yes. Is he paying for this surgery? Do you live with him? Are you in any way dependent on him? I understand yes to any of the above can make it more complicated. If not, tell him flat out that you are under the care of your medical team and it's not open for discussion. And if he kicks off on the phone, hang up. If you're at his place or in public, leave. If you're at yours, ask him to leave. Shut him down. All the best with your surgery and recovery. As stated at the end, I already told him off that I have full trust in my medical team and their plan for recovery, and that him having issues with the plan is not my fault nor responsibility. He's just pissy that he's not around to make sure things go his way. I live on the other side of the country, something he also hates. Make sure that there is no way anywhere that he can get any power of attorney over you for medical purposes. If he gets that angry and up in arms over your medical news, then just cover yourself. Don't let him call himself your next of kin so he can get into the hospital and cause problems. He is so cute when he destroys your stuff. A cousin, A, of mine had a baby boy 2 years ago, and around the same time, his sibling, my cousin, B, also had a son. Both of the toddlers are now in their terrible twos. My family, me, A and B, all stay abroad in the same city for work purposes, while A and B's family, including their wives and children, stay in their native country. So recently, cousin A's wife and child came down to visit A and also dropped by to see us. The child is quite naughty, as is usually a 2-year-old child. As soon as he stepped inside our house, he proceeded to touch and grab every possible item in our house, ranging from our TV remote to decorative vases, and opened every possible wardrobe door and rummaged through our stuff, destroying sentimental memorabilia I had got during one of my trips to a country that I will not be visiting anytime soon, and also spilling his mushy food onto the pages of an important book and closing the book to create sticky gooey stain between the pages. What irked us the most was the manic glee which A's wife was displaying. She was laughing at her child's antics and was not taking any actions to stop him. Instead, she was looking around at us, asking, "Isn't he cute?" at regular intervals, and proceeding to provide us anecdotes about how he usually destroys stuff that doesn't belong to him whenever he goes to other people's houses. She also asked my mom to make food that the baby likes to eat at the exact time of dinner, which would have been fine, but she had to provide my mom with special cooking instructions, which irritated my mom, making her hand over the spoon to her and asking her to cook it herself. The last straw of the night was when the wife started narrating how her child bullies my cousin B's child by biting him and snatching his toys away. When that story garnered no reaction from us except horror, she kept narrating it again and again to assert how funny the story was. B was also present for the gathering at our house, and you could see he was getting irritated but was not saying anything rash in a bid to remain respectful towards his SIL. He left soon afterwards, and A and his family too left. The next day, B calls to apologize for leaving early after dinner and tells him how his wife always encourages their child to do dangerous and not so nice things like grabbing heavy objects, putting fingers in the electric sockets, etc., in front of my cousin B's child. Cousin B and his wife has always taught his child to not do stuff like that, and when cousin A's child does the exact same things in front of him, the child gets upset at the double standards the adults are displaying, and the child feels he is getting wronged. And he is not sure how to tell cousin A's wife to stop doing this without her getting upset. A's wife is a working mom, and sometimes I feel her guilt of not being able to be a som makes her act this way, enabling her child's wrong and dangerous actions to get her child's affection and approval. Why did you allow the child to continue to damage memorabilia, etc., and damage the book? First time it happens, you should have turned to parents and told them to stop their child. Second time you get up and pick up child, stop them and hand them to parents. Third time you get up and pick up child and hand to parents and ask them to leave. Personally, if the mother is laughing and encouraging child, I'd go straight to the please leave option at step 1. Exactly. Every time they said nothing, they continued to enable that shitty parents' behavior. At this point, I think the wife just needs to be told to do her job as a parent regardless of how upset it might make her. That child is going to get seriously hurt if they don't curtail this behavior now. Right now, he's possibly endangering himself. Once he's older, he's going to start endangering everyone around him. Was the child's father there as well? If so, what did he do in response to his child's behavior? Regardless, there is no reason for you to put up with this child's behavior in your own home. put boundaries on what is and is not acceptable. They pick up a heavy vase or piece of decor, take it away and tell them no. The same with anything else they put their grubby little paws on and shouldn't. Take him back to mom and ask what she brought for him to play with. If she complains, tell her, my house, my rules. I don't know how often they visit, but you may want to consider having a basket of appropriate toys and books for them to play with. Also, baby-proof before they come over, moving tempting items to higher levels or behind cabinet doors, rubber bands around handles to keep them shut. Then, when they come over again, tell mom that you baby-proofed so you don't have a repeat of last time. This mom sounds like a bully and is teaching her kid to be one too. Only way to fight a bully is to confront them. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.